Hey, what's keeping you up so late? Got something on your mind? Let's talk about it. My name is Coffee Dark and Sweet, and you are now tuned in to the Midnight Coffee Podcast. Here, have a sip. What up, though? My name is Coffee Dark and Sweet, and you are now tuned in to the Midnight Coffee Podcast, where we have organic adult discussions with topics, culture-shifting topics that ground you to your source and expel us to where we're going in our divine purpose as a community. Like I said before, my name is Coffee Dark and Sweet. I am an artist, poet, mother, cook, chef, multifaceted creative. I spend most of my time trying to figure out how to use my powers for good, and that is ultimately the reason why we are here. And I'm going to get right into our topic today, which is Blame It on the Music, which is based off of a book written by my co-host, Eric Thompson Jr. This book has 66 songs in it, and he breaks down what they mean to him, what the lyrics mean to him, and how he used that, the power of music to heal himself. And I'm going to give it right over to him and let him further explain who he is and why he wrote the book.
Yo, my name is Eric Thompson Jr. I'm a poet and an author, like he said, Blame It on the Music. I wrote the book because, this is my first book that I wrote, and I wrote it just because I felt like the easiest subject to start writing about was music. And I'm like, how can I culminate like my life with the music? And I'm not an artist as far as like rapper or nothing like that, but I'm like, how can I take what these rappers gave and put my perspective on it? So like she said, I wrote 66. I took 66 songs that like were really just in my playlist. It wasn't even like all of them aren't my favorite songs or nothing like that, but it was just like on my phone at the time. And I just wrote what they meant to me, how they helped me, what I thought about them, the memories they gave, and just stuff like that.
Why 66?
I mean, that's just the number that it
Just like, right.
It wasn't.
Okay.
I always say that because once I counted, I'm like, oh, it's 66 songs, but it wasn't no particular reason why.
Do you know how many songs you have memorized by heart?
Hell no.
I know I did a playlist.
Hell
I did a
no.
playlist of songs from like the 70s to now, and I realized I have over 300 songs committed to memory.
Like, I don't even know. Yeah.
Ain't that crazy,
Yeah,
though?
that's interesting. I don't even know.
Myself and Eric are not alone in the studio. We also have Mr. Kyle Mack, who is a local rapper and a winner of the Motown Mic competition.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, heavy stuff, heavy stuff. Tell us more about you and what you do and why you do it.
Like you said, I go by the name of Kyle Mack. My motto is dream regardless of everything against me, dream. Working on some new music, actually trying to dive more into the poetry side of things. So,
Nice.
Just trying to expand myself, expand my brand, just continue doing what I'm doing.
Cool. Very cool. Thank you for joining us.
No, thank you for having me.
Your music is amazing. Your perspective is definitely important. So I'm glad that you're here.
Thank you.
And we also have Mr. Larry DJ Boog Phillips in the building, who is the co-owner of Waffle Cafe Detroit, and also a very prominent and proficient DJ in the community. So I'm going to hand, the mic to him and ask him what he does and why he does it.
What's up, everybody?
What up, though?
Yeah, she gave y'all my government name, but I usually tell people this.
You have it on Facebook, so you
Call
got
me Boog. Yeah, but you know what? It's crazy because even with people that follow me on Facebook, they still call me Boog. They don't even know my real name. They be like, "What's your name? Like, what's your real name?" Right? And I be like,
like that one lady
"But
was
you
like,
follow me
Boog.
on Facebook." But whatever. My mama named me Larry, but y'all can call me Boog. Man, I do so many things. My newest venture though is as Coffee said, is I'm co-owner of Waffle Cafe Detroit. which is a new restaurant in the heart of Detroit on the Avenue of Fashion. Our specialty is waffles, hence the Waffle Cafe. Everything is waffle-centric. You know, a lot of people be thinking we are a traditional breakfast spot, but we're not.
We're not.
Right.
And so we're kind of carving out our own niche and space, you know what I'm saying, and giving people something different to try. Outside of that, I am a DJ first and foremost. Been DJing over 20 years. And it has created all these other pathways that I've been on. So, you know, being able to own businesses. Even though most people think the restaurant is my first business venture, but it's not. This is just the first one that I went public with.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
But being a DJ has afforded me, you know, a lot of different opportunities or whatever. Because I've always been big on ownership and working for myself.
Yeah.
And so I try to pass it on to, you know, people that I'm connected to. If that's something that you're interested in, I'm gonna push you towards that.
Right.
So that's, you know, me in a nutshell. Outside of DJ, we can go into other stuff, but DJ encompasses so many things. So that's why I'm able to do what I'm doing now.
Yeah, that's what's up.
Thank you for sharing. Also in the room with us, we have our technician and the owner of the Shotcast Network, Shaw Black, here with us.
Hey.
Shaw Black.
If you can tell us, you know, who and why you are.
All right. First and foremost, poet. Second, podcaster, producer, entrepreneur, and just want to create intellectual conversations. And I love it. I love doing this. Seems to be the calling.
Seems to be the calling. Yes, we do definitely need to have more conversations that, you know, podcasts happen all day, every day, and they about such a plethora of things. But that's why I'm grateful for this one, because it really is. It has a very distinct purpose, which is, like I said, to ground us, but to also propel us towards our divine purpose as individuals and the community. So let me get into our first question. But first I want to ask you guys why. Why, Eric, did you write Blame It on the Music?
I feel like at the time I was really looking for like my voice and like what my stamp was in the world. Mm-hmm. And at the time I was working at Domino's, I'll never forget this. I worked at Domino's and I was ready, like, look, this ain't it. Like, this 9-to-5 shit. Somebody tried to rob me. It was all type of crazy shit going on. God, no. And I had the idea to write a book, but I had read this book called Caught Between a Dream and a Job. It was just saying, like, go into the things that you love, that you ain't thinking about no money, you ain't thinking about none of that. And I'm like, I've written my entire life, but I never thought about that as an occupation. So that's where it came from, for real.
Dope. Legit passion.
Yeah.
Legit passion. It drives so much.
It took a while to get there, but yeah.
Yeah. It drives a lot of if most people let you know what God is trying to do, the gifts that we are given, you know, and use them and propel them forward and stand on, you know, what you know that you can do. Right. It usually will provide for you, you know, the platform that you are supposed to and trying to reach. A lot of people think of like money as their goal, but in reality, service is your goal. You know what I'm saying? And the talents that we have perpetuate our ability to be of service. That's why we have them, to be of service. So, Kyle, please tell me why you decided to be a rapper or musician or poet or whatever it is that you're into lately.
I hate school. I always hated school. And I was like, I want to do
the
something.
Shaking heads is so funny.
Like, I hate school. I hate school. Like, I learned to be systematically good at it, but I hate it. I wanted something that allowed me to express more about who I am, express my emotions, and something that allowed me to use my creativity. So for music, why I do music is because I truly like to deliver or promote my message, like I'm saying, that you can follow your dreams. Like, don't let anybody tell you no. You can do and achieve anything that you want to.
You have achieved a lot of great things so far
Thank
on
you.
your path.
Thank you.
But I want to know, like, what outside of the dream message. I noticed, like, in your music, you don't curse a lot. You also don't refer to promiscuity or violence often. Like, it's not really in your message. And considering that is what the mainstream is, like, do you ever feel like, that maybe you should?
No, not really, because that's not me. I'm not going to do something that's not me, or I'm not going to promote something that's not me. And I think that's also like what happens in the main industry. People get lost in promoting or doing something that's not them. And then what happens when you get exposed, then you're gone with a blink of an eye, or it's just showing that you're not really staying true to yourself. And people remember that.
I don't think, especially nowadays, I feel like maybe that was a thing in like the 90s and early 2000s. But nowadays, people don't care who you actually are. They only care what you're saying and if it's a bop, if it's catchy.
Yeah, I was going to say. But it's like a fine line. It is crazy. It's like a fine line. And like, I guess like it's an example, but it's crazy. Like, the most recent example for me is like everybody calling Gunna a snitch. But then literally like, apparently, like, there's no way that if he's a snitch that enough people are listening to him that he's able to match or outsell Thug on the first week of sales. Okay. So it's kind of like, what are y'all? It's like what you're saying.
Nobody cares anymore.
Yeah. That's true.
But
I care. Like, I care about that shit.
And we're grateful that you care.
Yeah.
So many people just don't. And it's just like food. Like, I learned in the culinary world, like, people don't necessarily care what they eat as long as it tastes good.
Yeah.
And a lot of people don't know what they want to eat, and you have to tell them, like, here, this is food. Like
that's facts.
That's facts. They have no idea what they want or why they eating it. So yeah, it's I guess it's the same way with music, and it's crazy because those are two very like congruent forces.
Yes.
Like, food and music show up continually, simultaneously, off, and it brings so many people together.
Yep.
So I that's another reason why we here talking about this, is because I want to get to why is it bringing, why do people, the music come on and people just gather, why when, certain songs, why is certain things so catchy to people, and why can somebody in Memphis, Tennessee drop a song and people in New York know about it immediately, and it's catchy in that environment as well, kind of thing. So yeah, definitely thank you for that input, because it's important that we understand when we have something that has so much power, right? With power comes responsibility. So a lot of people want power, but a lot of people don't want the responsibility that comes with it.
All facts.
Yes. So I want to express gratitude for you being responsible for the things that you put out, not just to you, but to really everybody here. The responsibility that you have for your talent and your art and how you share it is immense, and it means a lot to the community around you, because we need y'all.
Thanks.
Larry, why? Oh, I'm DJ Boog. I'm sorry. I call Larry all day. Boog, why? What was the first instance where he was like, oh, I definitely got to be a DJ. Like, this is my thing for sure.
Man, my journey with DJing is kind of crazy, because my first exposure to it, like, I was in middle school. And
that's early.
Yeah.
I had a teacher who would bring in a different instrument or a different piece of equipment every week or whatever. Because the funny thing is, my curriculum at the time, they had a radio and TV broadcasting curriculum. So
nice. What school did you go to? I'm sorry. What school did you go to? I don't mean to cut you off.
Middle school?
Yeah. What school was you at?
Yeah, this
in Detroit.
Bobian Junior High. It's not even open anymore. Went to Bobian.
That explains a lot.
Right.
That's
So like Bobian had all these different curriculums or whatever. You could pick which one you know you wanted to be in. So I picked radio and TV because TV was interesting to me, and you know what I'm saying. I'm like, shoot, I want to be behind the camera, you know. So, you know, and plus things visually just appeal to me. Like I'm always looking at like why people use certain angles, like why you zoom in here, that type of thing. So that's what piqued my interest. And so my teacher just happened to be, you know, he used to DJ when he was younger. He used to do a whole bunch of stuff, but he used to bring something in like every week.
That's dope.
And so he brought this turntable in, and he showed us, you know, the nuances of the turntable, and you know, gave us the history of where turntables came from, and then he started to show us how you can mix a record. You know what I'm saying? And I was just like, dang, like this is crazy.
That's
you know what I'm
beautiful.
saying? So like, but I went to my folks like, hey, my teacher brought a turntable in. Can y'all get me one? They're like, no, it's too expensive.
Right.
And all you gonna do is tear it up.
Right. Damn.
So I was like, all right, you know. But it wasn't until like after I had graduated from high school, you know, my cousin, she married this guy while she was in the military, and he happened to be a DJ in New York.
Damn. Wow.
So when he moved here, after they finished their time in the service, and this was like right after Desert Storm, I think. Yeah, like he moved here, and I seen all these records in the basement. I'm like, yo, like what's up?
That's good.
He's like, no, I used to DJ in New York. You know what I'm saying? These are my records. Da da da. I kept them in storage while we was, you know, overseas or whatever. I'm like, oh dang. I'm like, all right. He was like, why, you want to learn? I'm like, hell yeah. Like,
That's dope.
You know
So
what
the
I'm
passion
saying?
never died.
So,
Man, that's fire.
well, I've always been around music though. I've been around music like my whole life.
I can tell that.
So like I grew up in it. You know what I'm saying? My mom, my aunt sang. One of my godparents was like, he's like a gospel legend.
Nice.
We grew up on the Clark Sisters. We grew up with their families. We grew up with the
Nice.
Winans.
Right.
Like a lot of people that's like,
I went to Perfecta. I kind of
that's
grew up with the
like
Winans.
epic. You know what I'm saying? Like this way before perfecting though.
Oh, they
I'm
did.
talking
Yeah,
about,
when they was actually
like
kids.
I'm talking about
Yeah.
like most people don't even know how Marvin Winans got started, and the church that my parents started in, they helped Marvin Winans start. He had church in our basement first.
Nice.
That's
That's
crazy.
so
You know what I'm
crazy.
saying? Like we saw the Winans like every Sunday, bro.
Legends
That's
in
crazy.
the building.
Every Sunday.
That's
You know what I'm
what's
saying?
up.
So stuff like that, you know, like music always been there. I started out singing. I used to dance when I was younger.
Busting no.
Everything that was like, yeah, nah, we ain't doing that. Can't stand you. So music was always there. So just getting into DJing was like, it just ended up being natural because I played piano, I played drums. You know what I'm saying? Like, my whole background in music is like,
That's fire.
you know what
Intense.
I'm saying? So, like,
Yeah.
Like you ain't had no choice.
DJing was like, oh, like,
Bingo.
yo, like I can do this, like, all right. And he like, yeah, you can practice as much as you want to, whenever you want to. So I was there every day in his basement. You know what I'm saying? Even when he wasn't there, he was like, oh, I'm on my way to work, but I'll leave the door unlocked.
Wow.
All right.
That's dope.
Man.
So this started at Bobby Middle School, right?
Yeah,
The one in Wyoming.
Bobian is where, you know, like I said, my first exposure.
We did not have that program when I was in there.
Oh no.
Yeah, you might have came after me, bro.
yeah.
I ain't gonna tell everybody my age. But
And that program was there for a reason. It was for you.
It was
learn
for
all
you,
that fast.
yeah.
Hey,
It was
how
just
stuff
for
like
you.
that work out though,
yeah,
man.
but you know, back then, a lot of the middle schools had curriculum though.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Different
Like
kind of stuff like
Ludington,
woodwork and
Ludington, Bates, Halley.
Yeah.
Even back in the day, you had Cerveny, Murphy, and this all West Side because I'm from the West Side. But
yeah.
even the schools on the East Side, everybody, you know, all the middle schools, it was like when you left elementary school, middle school was supposed to be like this step up. So
Yeah.
then they had the
Yes.
curriculums because they was trying to push you towards
Career.
wherever
Yeah.
you was.
Yeah.
They was trying to get you to go. You know what I'm saying? So.
Instead of prison, like the school to prison pipeline that we are vehemently
Yeah,
experiencing.
well, I
right
mean,
now.
that pipeline always been there. Even with this stuff with the curriculums and everything, it's still set up
Right.
to where they
But-
want you to be used to being locked in a room.
Yeah.
Listening,
saying?
responding at a certain
and
time.
You gotta,
eating what they feed
saying?
you without question.
So that's always been the case, you know what I'm saying, regardless. You always going to have that section of the population who can break through that.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And that's typically based on who you're surrounded by.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Who's in your space, who you connected to, what's going on with your parents, what's your family structure like.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
If mentors are at
Available.
play,
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So the people that really break out of that and can get away from that, you know, system that they try to like force us in or keep us in, you know, they typically have, you know what I'm saying, better support.
Yeah, for sure.
You know what I'm saying?
I always
Better
say,
support,
like,
more resources.
yeah.
The ones that it take longer to get out or they never get out is because they didn't have the resources, they didn't have the support. You know, that's basically always end up being. If you look at the root of everybody that get trapped in something, you know what I'm saying, it's because they didn't have
They
an
didn't
outlet.
have the support.
They didn't have the support.
It's the only way you know.
Yeah, it wasn't nobody pushing them to, hey, no, that's not it.
Yeah.
You need to go here.
Yeah.
You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
Facts.
They didn't have it. You know what I'm saying? Which is that's why I kind of suck now in the city, because when I was a kid, they pushed for Boy Scouts, Girl Scouts, all the recreation centers
mentor
had something
programs.
going on. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
Yeah.
It's not like that now.
Yeah.
Like, they trying to get back to it, but you got to fight through so much stuff
Man,
just to.
what?
It's work. It's work, but
It's
we
crazy.
willing for the people that are willing to do it. Please continue to make that effort and do that work, because it's obviously 100% necessary. And I always say, like, the difference between talent and success is support. If you don't have that in the middle, you are never going to get to where you're going. Now, you can foster support on your own if you are passionate enough to continue to produce based on your talent, you know, without that proper support. But I know that it is hard. So anybody out there who does not have support right now and you feel like you are working against yourself by pursuing your talent, you are not. It is ordained by God for you to have this skill and for you to be naturally innate to do what you're doing. And I encourage you right now to continue to do it. Your support exists. And so I'm grateful for the platforms that we have, like on the internet and the social media, because you have not met yet. There are so many people that you have not met that love you and are so ready to support you. So definitely keep doing what you're doing. The support does exist, even if you have not found it yet. I don't care how many years you've been doing it without support. It is there for you. Go
Preach.
find it. Go find it.
And there's always someone that's seeing what you're doing and inspired by what you're doing.
And
for sure.
yes, and I also encourage people to start with exactly where they are, because a lot of people think like, oh, I have to have this and that, and I have to have this and that and this and that in order to start. But in reality, when you have a passion and you have enough drive to pursue it, you are already at a level where people can learn from you. Yeah. And so there are always people underneath you that are looking for mentors and looking for inspiration, and you can be that literally with nothing but your talent. That's all it really takes. So please don't ever stop pursuing that. And I'm going to also ask Shaw, why did you get into poetry? Why did you get into podcasting and studio hosting and engineering, and what drove you there?
That's a loaded question. That is loaded. Okay, first thing, poetry. So I injured myself at work. Long story short, bored, nothing to do. I said I'm finally released my writing to the public. I did it, and ever since then, it's been on the races. I felt like, one, I finally felt my tribe. Two, I finally was able to release all the pent-up emotions I was feeling about everything. With the podcasting, what happened was, I was just a big fan of podcasting, and I just wanted to step my toe on it a little bit. And then I started to love it, and I started to get off my internal feelings without having to put it in poetry form. So it was like,
it's another way. Yeah.
And then everything else just kind of fell into place after that, kind of. Just with the network and everybody joining on, midnight coffee, everything just kind of fell into place. And it was like, do you love doing this? And I had to ask myself that. And I was like, I do. I love creating visions for other people as well, not just my visions. So that's a long story short of how I became into this.
That's what's up.
Oh, thank you for sharing that. I am my why. I never really decided to be anything that I am. I'm just kind of like going with the flow for real. And recently, in the last couple of years, I've had the opportunity to really stand up on myself and stand up on the things that I know that I'm good at and the things that produce the most service for people. So the kind of feedback that I get when I speak is so intense and it's so worthy till I know that it's exactly what I'm supposed to be doing. So and the same thing with cooking, like I just like stand up on it and it provides for me. I'm so lucky to be able to do everything that I love and have it provide for me, which was like in 2019 was like my ultimate goal was like, okay, so many people at that point had compared me to people like Maya Angelou and Nina Simone and these kind of things. So I'm like, yo, they eat. You know what I'm saying? They eat. Yeah. They are not starving artists. They eat. And so I just started to my first mission.
They were starving artists.
They were, yes.
At one
yes,
point.
Yes. And we all start off that way, right? Yes, they were starving artists.
But that's the difference.
But the difference is the stand up. I feel like that's the difference. Like, I didn't wait on somebody to give me permission. Yeah, I didn't wait on somebody to say, hey, you can do this or can you do this for me? I was like, I knew what I could do. Mm-hmm. And then I put all of my effort behind what I knew I could do.
Yeah.
And I've been writing poetry and performing poetry since kindergarten. I don't know any other way to be. It is me. And so I just had to like accept that about myself. I went to college to be a biochemical engineer and all this other extra shit that was not really for me. When you know, the gifts that God gave me were very prevalent and ready for me to use. And they were creating the most impact. That's my thing. Like, what is creating the most impact, right? When people eat my food, how do they feel? When people hear me speak, how do they feel? What are they telling me, you know, that they're getting from me expressing myself in that way? That's where the value comes in at, and it expounds upon itself infinitely. And I really feel like, you know, they're like seeds, you know, and if I water them and groom them appropriately, I'm gonna eat. Just like, you know, not only am I gonna be able to eat, but I'm gonna be able to cultivate food. And when you are able to cultivate food in one way or another, everybody's eating, right? Not just you. Right. That's the point. Like, I can reach back, even if it's just with my words. I can touch somebody and literally change the course of someone's life. That's like magic. And I will be damned to just let it sit on the shelf and not actively pursue that in my everyday being. So yeah, that is why. That's my why. Because I know that I'm not here for you know, just like the rat race or the regular kind of 9-to-5 situation. I have a higher purpose. And a lot of people feel like they have a higher purpose and they don't know what it is. I tell people all the time, like, I didn't even know, like, I started painting landscapes recently and I didn't even know what I was capable of until I just let myself do it. Right. And that's when you really experience like God and like I'm like, God is an artist. My daughter stepped outside the other day and the sky was like pink and purple and she said, now that's a painting. You know what I'm saying? It's the level of experience. It changes the level of experience I have with like life itself. Right. I see God as an artist, you know, and then I'm able to understand and respect myself as one.
Right, that's real.
So that definitely is my why. When my kids say stuff like that, that's my why. My kids are painters and poets and sculptors and cooks and all of that already. That is definitely my why. Yeah.
Are you scared of dipping your toe in too many things?
All the time. I think I said. That's why I have like multiple Instagram pages.
That's for all of y'all too.
I'm so frightened that I will confuse and misinterpret my audience, but then I realize like my audience is everyone, and I'm blessed that I have something for everyone.
Right.
You know, so anybody who is looking for me will find me, and they will find me on whatever level they're looking at. You know, people come to me for all sorts of things. I'm glad to be that infinite resource and have something to offer literally almost everyone. You know, whether it's paint or food or poetry or, you know, decorating, whatever it is that I do, whatever I can put my intention and creativity into, it's the creation, the creativity that is the gift. It's not one specific thing. It's like, you know, that kind of helps me not be so afraid of confusing my audience, because my audience is infinite and everybody is looking for something.
Great.
And so the more that I have to offer, the more of a resource that I can be for the people that are looking. So lately I have abandoned that fear, and I have just, if I have the opportunity to pursue something and I can do it and I know I can execute it and well, I'm going to do it. There is nothing that's going to, especially not fear, that's going to stop me from expressing myself in whatever way I'm being called to in the moment. If I know I have the power or even the will to learn it and then express it. Like if I know I can, I will. And that's just it. So yeah, there's definitely a fear element there, but fear is, to me, is something that is supposed to kind of give you like a warning. It's like a bodyguard, right? Your bodyguard is somebody that you pay to keep you safe. So you essentially tell them what to do. They're your employee. It's not, you know, your boss.
Right.
Fear doesn't tell me what to do. You know, I'd be like, okay, I get it. You know what I'm saying? You want to keep me safe and everything. So you telling me this. I hear you. I hear what you're saying, but I'm still going to do that shit.
I feel like this is one aspect of fear people downplay. People focus on the negative aspect, but fear also means something is real and something is important, and you should just go more towards it.
Lean in.
Yeah.
I'm definitely in the lean in phase of my life. Is anybody else here in the lean in phase of their life?
You said that,
Yeah,
bro,
that's real
'cause
shit.
most people they don't look at fear as a positive.
Right.
They
You know what I'm
don't.
saying?
Literally, they don't.
I literally just had that conversation with my wife and somebody else, and I was just like, they have programmed people to look at fear
To be afraid of fear.
Absolutely.
as if, you know what I'm saying, this is what's going to cause this failure, and
Right.
you're not going to do this, and you're not going to do that, and it's like, yo.
And
this-
even I had to get out
It
of
don't
that.
even. It don't
Hell
even.
yeah.
It don't even make sense. Like even for like with me growing up in church, I was always an outcast because I used to always question everything.
Yeah.
Like,
Oh, man.
that
Oh, man.
like,
Don't get me started.
like this don't make sense. You know what I'm saying? It just didn't make sense.
And my
Like
wife
so,
cannot
I'm supposed
explain it
to.
you at all.
So God is all
Nobody will
this,
explain it to you.
but He want me to be scared of Him
Oh
too.
my God.
Yeah, that don't even really make sense to me. I
Yeah.
don't feel like that's
Yeah.
what He was saying. But you know, whatever, you know. But yeah, nah, fear is it's healthy for you.
For sure.
It's not a vehicle that will, you know, sink you. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And so a lot of people just need to be reprogrammed.
Man, facts.
You know what I'm saying?
Facts.
You know what I'm saying? The stuff that makes you uncomfortable is that's the stuff you're supposed to go towards.
That's how growth happens.
The fear is attached to that unknown. Is attached to that place, that space that you like. Ooh, like
What if? Or
I
what
don't
is-
know.
What is that?
and
Yeah.
This don't. I
Yeah.
don't feel comfortable right here. Well, that's exactly where you're supposed to be at. Every time you try to sit back and be in
Amen.
comfort, you tear the club up.
Literally.
Literally.
You can go through your whole life and go through stuff that was like that stick out in your life, and you think about it, and you like, damn, I did that because I was comfortable. I did that because I was used
And
to
we
it.
can get comfortable
I
with
did
bullshit.
that because I wasn't.
Yeah.
It was safe. You know what I'm saying?
And a lot of
And
people are
every
safe in
time-
chaos.
and every time it tore your ass up.
Period.
Shit
And
you
you
don't
be
want happen.
trying to figure out like, damn, why
Yeah.
the heck
Yeah.
did this happen like this?
Yep.
Because you weren't
Playing
supposed to
it
be
safe.
doing that. You're not supposed to be comfortable.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Trust me, bro.
We always pushing people to do shit that's comfortable. We
You
always
can
telling
even
people
take that back to the classroom.
this
Yeah,
is where you're
that's
supposed
true.
to be at. This is
It's a box. Put a motherfucker in the box.
Mm-hmm.
I learned that with fear though. Like, once I started doing poetry, I'm like, damn, this kind of scared me. It's like damn, I'm supposed to go in this direction then, because like I like what I get after I'm done doing that. It's like conquering that shit. Like this shit ain't about to conquer me.
Period.
That gave me a whole nother level of confidence to do whatever I wanted to do. Honestly, just getting on the stage for real. I never thought I'd do that shit.
Yeah. So that's why you got a lot of people out here who can't do anything if they're not in control of the situation.
That's a big factor.
If they're not in control of everything in their space.
But think about it.
I feel like I'm a recovered control freak, so I feel like you're calling me out right now, but it's okay.
They can't operate. You know what I'm saying?
I fight that every day.
Like, and they were literally like, they either gonna force their way in their mind anyway.
Yeah.
That I'm controlling all of this shit,
perception,
or they just be like, fuck it, I ain't even gonna
try.
You just give up.
like, nope, I'm gonna go
Scrap
somewhere.
the
I'm gonna go
whole
do something
plan.
else then. Since I can't control this, since I can't control you,
find something I
what's
can.
happening right here, I'm gonna go over here because I can control this.
Yeah.
But you know what
not
helps with
but
that?
not realizing that control is still putting you back in
the
this
fucking box.
comfort that you think is about to help you.
Man.
What does help with that though is God. Realizing, for me, I was a very chronic control freak, and it had took my life into such a dark turn that I literally knew that I could not rely on myself.
Damn.
And I'm like, whatever it is, it was, when you try to control stuff, it creates a resistance with life.
Yeah.
So you are not going with the flow anymore.
Yeah.
You are paddling upstream. You are creating resistance with your own life,
right,
and causing a lot of the problems that you think you are trying to solve.
Right.
So for me, it was like realizing that God was in control of everything, including my own story. I didn't write it. God wrote it. God gave me these talents. Every single platform that I pursued, God laid that platform out for me. He is the ultimate controller. He has the controller, and I am relinquishing my will to God helped me personally with being able to allow somebody else to steer the ship I was on, and to not just somebody else, but just like, it was more so like an acceptance. Like, okay, this is who I am, and this is where I am. So let me be the best in this space and time. Let me be the best version of me I can be in this space and time. And that happens literally every single day. I know that I don't have no control over, the person on the bus that's trying to like get me to put my number in their phone that I really just want to like yell at, and like, I don't have no control over what time the bus arrives, or like, it's a lot of things. I don't have control over half the time what my kids say out their mouth, or what they do while I'm sleeping. So, it's a lot of stuff that I don't have control over, and when I realize like God is in control, it allows me to respond and not react. And that doesn't always work like in the moment. But if I have a moment to kind of think and breathe and process what's happening, I can respond instead of reacting. And I'd really, this is a new space that I'm like playing with and figuring out, like, what are my, boundaries with control? What are my boundaries with the people around me? And what, because in reality, we say, I used to say like the only person you can control is yourself. But that's not even true.
No.
Not all the time.
Not all the time. There are certain things you can control about yourself once you know what it is that you are doing or trying to do. But in reality, we not in control of anything. And that's a great segue into what music is. So I want to ask everybody in the room, like, I think I'm gonna start with Shy. What is Shy? Sorry. What is music? What do you think music is, or what is your definition of what music is?
Music for me is a beat for the soul. It's like, it's the soul expression. I guess I want to say. You know what I mean?
No.
For me, there we go.
There we go.
Yeah. Like the soul, like the soul expression. I guess I could say. You know what I mean? Music to me is, we've been doing it since the beginning of time, first of all.
Yes.
So it's in our DNA from the beginning. And so music is our DNA, essentially, to me.
Music is our DNA. That's That's dope as fuck. That's
in our
a
veins.
really, really good answer. Boog, what is music?
Man, music encompasses so many things. Like for me, music is air.
That is so real because music is waves, and waves are energetic waves are in the air 100%
I
of
mean,
the time.
there's nothing on this planet that moves without music.
That rhythm, yeah.
Amen.
Like seriously,
Y'all got some great answers.
When you look at how things in nature move, even if you can't hear it audibly, for you, they're moving to a sound.
To a beat, a drum, a rhythm. Yeah, you're right.
We walk to a beat. The pavement
Music
itself
is
is in
there.
the dirt.
It's just that's just what it is.
Everywhere. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes,
I
Kyle.
mean, we're not doing anything in this life without rhythm.
That's fact.
Facts. That's pure facts.
Nice.
Wow.
Kyle, what is music?
I would say it's emotion to me. Like it's whatever you're feeling in the moment, how you're using you're listening to music to how you feel in the moment, you're writing music or creating music to how you're feeling in the moment, or when other people feel the same way you are feeling in that moment, that's how they may be able to connect to you and your music.
Right. That's real.
So it would be like outlet to a plug
Yeah,
Facts.
of emotion.
for sure.
Oh, I
yeah.
love it.
I like that.
It's a connector.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely. That's why it's so important in the different levels that it exists on, for it to exist on kind of every level. What about you, Eric? What is music to you?
When you first asked, I was thinking like frequency and vibration. But then I thought when you said air, I'm like, music is food. Like it literally feeds you. Like on
Yes.
some level, like it's like food. That's what I feel like music is.
It's like frequency food.
Yeah. And it like think about food too. Like it can make you do some sluggish shit or chill, relax.
That's
like,
true.
Music will make you kill somebody. Music will make you love somebody. Like it literally feeds you.
I'm glad that you put it in that context. Yeah, because it
Yeah,
is.
I mean,
a form of control.
it's the only thing in creation that can move you on every level,
Facts.
mentally,
That's very true.
physically,
Mm-hmm.
emotionally, and
And
spiritually.
what you hearing, how you hearing it. Yep.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
I'm trying to, in my mind right now, I'm trying to think of anything else that does that.
There's nothing else that taps into all four of those
That
things.
level too. Yeah.
And without,
What about
and-
sex and food?
and without your permission,
Mm.
you can't. You're not having sex
You're
with
right.
everybody.
You're right. You're right.
Yeah,
You're right.
okay.
Sex. You gotta. That's
That was fire.
That's an act. You know what I'm saying? You gotta actually do something. for
Yeah.
sex. You don't have to be doing a damn thing.
And you can just be in the room,
Music.
walk
to
past and
penetrate
hear
you.
it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For
Damn.
rhythm.
Damn.
For rhythm to take over your body, and you not even know like why.
That's facts.
You know what I'm saying?
That's facts.
That was
It
beautiful.
taps into all four of those areas, and your permission is not needed.
That's facts. That's
Love it. I love it.
Hey guys, music is such a huge deal to us, and I'm sure to you as well. So we decided to split this episode into two parts. Make sure you like, share, and subscribe so you can get notified next week when we finish this conversation with you. Thanks.